Buckle up because we are diving straight into the news that matters right now. First up, we have a major legal development out of Johnson State Prison, where a family has officially reached a $4 million settlement. This follows the tragic death of a man killed by his own cellmate while in custody, sparking critical questions about safety and accountability behind bars.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Next, the tech world is buzzing over a massive influx of cash into the quantum sector. Chad Reichty is back in the spotlight with his new venture, Sygaldry Technologies, which has secured $139 million in funding from Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures. They are on a mission to build quantum AI servers that could fundamentally change how data centers handle the massive energy demands of modern artificial intelligence. We are also taking a look at a deeply personal story from the state press that hits home for many students today. Reporter Lexi Janussi opens up about the struggle of balancing childhood dreams of the performing arts with the intense pressure of a journalism career in the real world. It is a powerful reflection on what happens to our passions when the weight of adulthood begins to take over. Finally, the future of Bonita Springs is officially in the hands of its citizens. The Bonita Springs City Council has officially pushed the decision on a $35 million bond for the Bonita Estero Rail Trail project to a public vote this August. Whether this project turns an old rail line into a community asset or becomes a financial burden is up to the residents to decide. If you want to keep up with these stories and get the latest updates as they break, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an alert. Imagine dropping your loved one off at the gates of a state prison, trusting the system to keep them safe, only to get the call that they've been killed by their own cellmate. It's the kind of nightmare no family should ever have to wake up to, yet here we are. A family has just reached a $4 million settlement following the tragic death of a man at Johnson State Prison, a case that casts a long, dark shadow over the issue of institutional safety. When we talk about prison reform, we're usually debating policies and numbers, but this settlement is a stark reminder that behind every headline is a human life that was entrusted to the state and ultimately failed by it. This payout might offer some semblance of accountability, but it raises a massive question. How many more lives have to be lost before we fix the cracks in our correction system? If you find this breakdown important, hit that subscribe button to keep up with the stories that actually matter. At the end of the day, a settlement check can cover the costs of a tragedy, but it can never replace the person who never made it home. Ever wondered how we're going to feed the insatiable hunger of modern AI without draining the world's power grid? It's the multi-billion-dollar question, and Chad Reichty, a man who practically wrote the book on quantum computing, thinks he has the answer. After stepping away from his public-facing giant, Reichty Computing, he hasn't just been sitting on the sidelines. He's back with a brand new venture called Sygaldry Technologies, and the heavy hitters are already lining up. In a massive move, Sygaldry just announced they've secured a staggering $139 million, headlined by none other than Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures. Think about that for a second. We're talking about an $80 million Series A, bolstered by an earlier $34 million seed round from initialized capital. But why is the industry buzzing so loudly about this? It's because Sygaldry isn't just chasing quantum hype. While many players in the space are trying to solve every theoretical problem in existence, Sygaldry has locked its sights on a specific, painful reality: AI infrastructure. They're building hybrid servers that bake quantum power directly into the data center. The goal is simple but radical: slash the astronomical energy costs of training these massive models. By integrating quantum hardware with existing setups, they're letting developers supercharge their current workflows today while building the foundation for the quantum-native AI of tomorrow. It's a smarter, more targeted play that feels less like science fiction and more like the missing piece of the AI puzzle. If this works, the bottleneck for AI progress might finally start to open up. If you want to keep tabs on how this quantum race changes the way we build the future, hit that subscribe button. Technology is evolving faster than ever, but at the end of the day, innovation is only as powerful as the infrastructure that holds it up. Remember when you were 6 and the world felt infinite? Back then, I didn't have a plan. I had a destiny. I was going to be an actress, a writer, a star. I was the kid who forced my dad into living room skits and spent my high school years as the poster child for the arts. I even had most likely to be on Broadway stamped right next to my senior yearbook photo. But then, reality hit like a freight train. When it came time for college, the guidance counselors and the family expectations closed in. Suddenly, I wasn't allowed to be anything. I was only allowed to be employable. Choosing a major felt like playing a high-stakes game of blindfolded darts, which is how I ended up in journalism. It wasn't my dream, but it was a box that fit society's definition of success. And just like that, the part of me that lived for the stage started to shrivel up. We're told college is where you explore your passions, but the reality, it's a pressure cooker. Between the deadlines and the crushing weight of productivity, there's no room for the arts. We've collectively decided that if a hobby doesn't look good on a resume, it's a waste of time. And the stats back this up. Fewer people are attending live theater and galleries than ever before. It's not just a lack of time, it's a cultural shift that treats creativity as something childish we need to outgrow. But here is the truth I've had to learn the hard way. If you don't fight for your passions, they won't just fade, they will be buried. I'm not living the life my 6-year-old self imagined. I traded the grease paint of the theater for the glowing screens of a newsroom. And yeah, some days that hurts, but I've started carving out space again. I'm back in acting classes, catching shows, and finding ways to feed that part of my soul that the world told me to ignore. So here is my challenge to you. Don't let your inner child become an embarrassing memory. Even when life gets loud and the real world demands your total surrender, keep one foot in the things that make you feel alive. We need to stop viewing our passions as side hustles or wastes of time and start seeing them as the fuel that keeps us human. If you're currently drowning in the monotony of the grind, take a step back and pick up that old paintbrush, open that script, or sign up for that class. What are you doing today to keep your fire lit? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe so we can navigate this messy, beautiful adulthood together. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one who can decide what your life is worth. Imagine turning an abandoned eyesore of a rail line into a 6-mile urban oasis for cyclists and walkers. That is the dream behind the Bonita Rail Trail, but it comes with a hefty price tag that has the city of Bonita Springs caught in a heated debate. The city council has officially punted the decision to the only people who truly matter, the residents. On August 18, voters will head to the polls to decide whether the city should authorize a massive $35 million bond to fund this project. The logic here is simple. If approved, the debt will be paid back through property taxes over the next 3 decades. Council members are framing this as a win for democracy, arguing that the community should have the final say on such a significant financial commitment. Supporters like Deb Orton and local cyclist Terrence McLaughlin view this as a rare opportunity to reclaim space. They argue that creating a dedicated lane for non-motorized traffic isn't just about recreation. It's about safety, giving people a peaceful escape from the chaotic congestion of local roads. It's the vision of a more connected, active community. However, not everyone is sold on the vision. Critics like resident Dave J. aren't pulling any punches, labeling the plan a potential financial disaster for taxpayers. He argues that the public is essentially footing the bill for a project where the real benefits aren't balancing out the costs. It is the classic conflict: public utility versus fiscal responsibility. Ultimately, come August 18, it is up to you to decide if the trail is a blueprint for a better Bonita Springs or a burden the city shouldn't take on. If you live in the area, make sure you show up and have your say. After all, the best way to shape the future of your neighborhood is to cast your vote. What is your take? Should the city bet big on this trail, or is the risk just too high? Let us know in the comments below.